Welcome to sunny Newcastle in New South Wales, Australia.
This is the musician and the barman, JJ and Nick. We're just going to talk about stuff.
JJ?
Thank you.
Here we go.
Nick, how you doing?
Very well. Cold early, warm now.
Yeah, it is.
Been
And
out
we're
in the
all
sun.
ragged after the weekend.
Yeah, I stayed up till all hours watching the golf, sacrificing sleep.
Where's the golf on?
England, the British Open, or the Open Championship.
I've heard
So
of
I think
England, yeah.
people get offended when it's called the British Open, not the Open Championship.
Oh. I've heard of England. It's an island just off the coast of Ireland. Isn't it? As far as I know now.
How should we go down the political path of that?
The political path. No.
Huh?
So it is an island off the coast of Ireland.
No, I just mean the whole Island England thing.
Oh God, no, it's too early for that. So, but if Queen Elizabeth is listening,
Yeah.
please sign back the 6 counties and have a bit of fucking manners.
Look, we'd like them back, please. Give them back.
No, not being political or anything. But here's 3 songs about Irish rebel songs.
So, beautiful guitar.
Yes.
For everyone who's listening and can't see, which is everybody, what kind of guitar do we have?
Well, it's a battered old guitar, is what it is, but it's a beauty. It's an old Takamine EN10. And
Love the faded, where the pick, that's where the pick hits, is it?
yeah, that's a lot of these are haggard. I saw a guy trying to sell one on eBay recently, and it had a huge hole, like a Willie Nelson hole. You know, William Nelson's guitar. It's a big hole in it.
That's all.
From picking like an animal. But this guy was trying to sell this guitar, and honestly, there was nothing left of the damn thing. And he was asking a healthy price too, because the electric still worked. Like, oh, do they?
Where did you get this one from?
I got it from a guy in Ireland. I've been looking for one for ages, and I couldn't find one. And I was looking online, but the EN10s, some of them are nice, and some of them aren't nice.
How old is it?
Oh, I mean 1983 or thereabouts, 84. Just when this thing was being made, I suppose at 1985, my graduation was on
What graduation?
from school.
Year 12?
It was supposed to be your year 12. It's 60 year now.
It's what?
60 year.
60
Year
years from...
6.
Oh, yeah. So do you do does it go kindergarten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then high school?
No, it's all messed up. High school has 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have a 4. And it has a 5 and a 6, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't know why. It's like as if they kind of separate the men from the boys or something.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as 4th year. Although there is a thing called a transition year sometimes, where kids get that year off and they just go and do work experience and stuff.
When do they have the big break? Because you know how we have the big 6-week break around
Yeah.
Christmas here. Do you have it
It's
around
in our
Christmas?
summer, which is June, July, and August. And then you're back in September. You get like almost 3 months off in Ireland.
And then how much time around Christmas?
It's not a month. It's about 3 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. Yeah, it's the opposite from here.
I find that so bizarre. I don't
Yeah.
know why, because obviously it just is because...
Look, I don't think kids get as much holidays here as we do in Ireland, and I think it goes back to the time when kids going to school, farming kids especially.
harder working. That's all.
Well, they were, but they had to work on farms, and in the summer all that work was done, so they needed more time off to help out with all that, harvesting and stuff. That's a guess. I'd Google that if I was you.
You have a Google machine.
Google machine. That's a great name for a computer. A Google machine.
One thing, potato thing, remember how we talked about that?
Potato famine.
Yeah. I found that fascinating because there's the part where I just vaguely know that it's some sort of thing, but didn't actually know about it.
Yeah.
So what?
Well, there was 2 potato famines. I can't think of the exact date. It's the late 1800s, and what happened was the potato was the main crop in Ireland. Like everybody lived off the potato and whatever else, milk and cheese and all that stuff. But nobody expected a potato blight, and it happened one year. This blight went across the land. And all the potatoes were dying, so we were using up reserves and whatever else we could have made it that year, if that was the only year that it had happened, then it happened again. I think I'm not sure if it's the next year or 2 years later, but it's devastating.
Smart people would have been seeing that happening and then would have bought up stock as well.
Oh, I don't know on what level that was going on. I mean, it's a long story, but the trouble with Ireland at that time was that people who owned the land, the landlords they didn't live in Ireland, so they weren't hands on. So
English,
like absentee landlords. So they didn't live in Ireland, so they didn't care what went on as long as their
land was there.
Their guys in charge were sending over the rent that was being paid by the tenants. They didn't care, and even though the poor were being hammered by this famine, these animals that were working for them were still trying to knock the rent out of the tenants. So there was no aid. One of the so-called Indian tribes in America sent over a thing that we call clarinda. It's an Indian meal. It's looks like a cornflake, but it's not. But they sent over a consignment on a boat.
Yeah,
I think it was the Choctaw Nation. They knew about the famine, and they pulled together, sent over this ship full of the stuffs that would help. So that's always remembered. It's remembered in Ireland. It's remembered by the Choctaw Nation too.
Oh, really?
It's like the relationship you guys have with the Turkish, because of Anzac, the Cove, and all that. Yeah.
It's
Cause a lot of sadness. As humans, we do sadness well, don't we? Grim, horrible, filthy, horrible things we do to each other.
And over and over
and over and never learn. Never learn. It's all to do with greed. Absolutely every part of it is to do with greed. Either greed for money or greed for power.
More so power.
Well, I think with power you're going to get the money anyway.
Yeah,
but
it goes hand
different people have the different illnesses. Because there are plenty of people out there who just want money, but you don't know who they are, so they don't particularly want to be seen as being powerful. They just sit in their little quiet room and count their money. And
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck. He was one of the worst of them. What a bastard. And for that matter, all the McDucks, if you're listening.
Every single one of them.
Every quacking last bastard of it.
Well, I definitely feel more comfortable not having to be all weird.
Maybe you want to qualify that sentence.
Well.
Oh, God. Oh. Okay, well. So this is our first real podcast. I mean, the first two, we filmed them. So, and then we realised that...
We're not made for film.
No, we got faces for radio.
I have a face of an angel.
You do? Yeah, an angel's arse. Anyway, I've just come back from Budgie Y. I'm doing a radio interview.
Budgie Y, yeah?
Yeah.
With which station?
No, you're asking me hard questions there.
I'm all about the hard questions. I think you told me, was it Lake FM?
The lady's name is Martine, and it's Lake Macquarie FM. That's what it is, yeah.
What was it involving?
Oh, it's just involved me going down, singing some songs and being ridiculous.
Singing your own songs?
I sang 2 of my own songs, sang 2 of other people's. And plugged all the gigs.
Yeah.
And mentioned you.
And me.
Yeah, so you're a superstar now too.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad the people on Lake Mac FM know what's up.
Yeah. They know where it's at, man. You don't have an address. I rang on the way down in the car. This girl called Margot answered the phone. She's about 150, I'd say.
Yep.
And I said, hi, can I get the address of the radio station? Because I'm near Budgie Y, but I don't know exactly where you are. And she goes, oh, hang on. So she shuffles off. And she comes back in about 4 minutes and she said, are you near the Bolo? And I said, look, I'm near nothing. I haven't even arrived at Budgie Y. I said, but if you give me the exact address, I can put it into the GPS. And she shuffles off again for another 4 minutes and then comes back. And she said, look,
So
I don't know the address. They don't have an address because it's the back of the Bolo in Budgie Y. So it's a shed at the back of the Bolo. But she could have given me the address of the Bolo, but for whatever reason, she wasn't switched on yet. So
yeah, but the address of the Bolo wouldn't be hard to find either.
No, that's what I mean. But I mean, I eventually got there.
I once had that when I had been out drinking for an evening and stayed at a air quote friend's house, and then had to go to work the next morning. Well, woke up in a mad rush. Oh, gotta go to work. Call a taxi. Walked out the front to get on the phone. Where to? Oh, to hit so and so. Where are you picking up from?
I don't know where I am.
Silence. And then looking around, and it's in the middle of the street, so I can't see a street sign. What am I going to do? And I'm standing out the front, so I walk over to the letterbox,
Yeah.
pulled out some mail,
Oh, good.
read it off the
Oh, you're lucky there was something in it.
Lucky it wasn't misdirected mail, too.
Yeah.
I still go when it goes on.
Well, anyway, seeing as this is our first podcast, maybe it's important to say
Yeah, there we are.
that Nick here is the barman and I'm the musician. And I play in the grain store here, and Nick is the manager in the grain store. And then we usually meet on a Sunday and end up chatting. So we decided that the world deserved to hear the incredible brilliance that we talk about.
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So
3 years? Or 4 years?
yeah, 4 years, but then in 1 year I was back in Ireland. So
Went home. Sojourn, right?
sojourn.
Sojourn.
Yeah, as they say in Ireland.
And you've been playing music for 35 years?
Yeah, since I left school. So well, no, 20. So
Performing music.
30 years. 30 years full time. I've done bits and pieces, but I've never stopped playing music. So
And I've been behind the bar for half my natural life.
that's right. 4 years.
17 years.
So we both get to see a lot of crazy stuff and experience a lot of crazy stuff too.
Not so much here and now. For me personally, this
Calm pub.
venue, this venue, the environment, the people, it's like managing in a dream.
So easy.
Yeah, there's different challenges, but it's nothing. There's no one fighting. There's
Yeah.
no one.
Yeah, has there ever seen a fight here?
Nah, never.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Because most pubs have fights.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because we're not a pub.
It's kind of more food.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's both though, isn't
I've
it?
thought about this on the somewhat philosophical level. Like, what are we?
Yeah. You're having an identity crisis.
Yeah. and I think what we do is we fall in between. We're not a pub. We're not a restaurant.
Yeah.
If you want to go and eat food, but you don't want to be at a restaurant sitting there, the four of you in
Yeah.
a quiet place,
Yeah.
and you don't want to be at a pub where it's all rowdy and carrying on.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the middle.
Yeah.
So you can get the energy and a bit of atmosphere that
Bit
a
of both.
pub has.
Yeah.
The dining.
It is a great venue though. Best venue I've ever played. So cool.
What do you think makes a good venue from your side of things?
Comes down to whether the people that own it are enjoying it, and is it just being run like a cold business, or is it something that's got a bit of art to it?
Yeah.
And this place has got art to it, and the people I'm working with too. I mean, yourself accepted. Like everyone's pretty decent.
Yeah.
You're the only dodgy one here.
And that's probably, we just want to be around nice people. We
Yeah,
have to spend the whole week with them.
Yeah.
You can teach anyone anything. You kind of can't teach someone to be a decent person.
No.
If they're a decent person, you teach them the rest, and then.
The thing about the fighting though, I was talking to my kid about, she's 10 at school, and regularly I say to her, so is there any fights in the playground? I don't remember when I was a kid.
all the
There were
time.
fights twice a week at least, and then not so much just fights, but then rumours of, oh, so-and-so is going to beat up so-and-so afterwards at the bike sheds, and
Behind the.
then everyone would gather around the circle and fight, and then the teachers would come wading in, try and break it up. And she said, I've never seen a fight in school at all. So it's like different times.
10, so that's year 4 or 5.
She should have at least seen a fight. I don't want her to be in any.
Where I grew up, the kids were fighting all the time,
Yeah.
all the way through school. I saw a kid who was either, he might have been years above me, or he might have left school, but he was still school age, like maybe year 11. And at a school carnival, he bashed a teacher with someone's crutches.
Oh, man.
Violently.
Jesus. Was he sneak up on him or did he face him?
He came to the school sports carnival,
Yeah.
and then he left school, so he wasn't meant to be there.
Yeah.
The teachers told him to take a hike. And he went at him.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would have been, so that might have been like 15 or 16 years old. He might have been 16, maybe 17. We were
Well,
like 12, 13.
All the way through my school, teachers were beating the kids though. I go to school and
I
see
think
my
cane?
mate canes and physical punches, slaps, hair pulling, lifting them up by their ears, hammering kids, like
Yeah.
beating the crap out of them. So you go to school and on a given day, you're going to see serious physical violence meted out to someone your own age by an adult.
Well, it's no wonder it was getting moved through the children. Then.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah, yes, of course it is. Really, when you think of it.
Everything's a product of its environment.
Yeah. So the kids are being respected at schools now. Although I'm amazed, I go to pick up my kid at school and there's no teacher raising their voice ever. And there's a school of 400 or 500 kids and no teacher raises their voice. And you're thinking, God almighty, when we were at school, every teacher was screaming all day.
I made it part of my daily mission to make teachers raise their voice.
Make a teacher scream.
I was a horrendous child at school.
Oh, yeah. Just to drive them over the edge.
Just a smart ass. I think I was bored.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been it, of course. You're looking for entertainment.
Yeah.
I saw a classroom once. They had this teacher come in. Christy Hannon was his name, and he was a mild guy. Like he wasn't a killer.
His name was Christy.
Christy was his name. Yeah. Be Christopher. So Christy would be short. But I remember this particular class that he had used to just find ways to drive his head in, and he'd lose it, like, and he'd have to run back to the staff room. But one day they took the classroom, they switched everything around. So they took the blackboard off the wall and screwed it to the opposite wall, switched all the desks around.
The kids did.
Yeah. And these would be teenagers now at this stage.
Yeah.
They took the statue of the Virgin Mary, which was on the wall, put her on the other side. So everything was switched around. So when he walked in, it was like just a mind melt. Yeah. And he just walked straight back out and went back to the staff room.
What is happening? Did you enjoy school?
No, I hated every single solitary second of it. There wasn't one redeeming thing about it. Oh, there was one. A choir in 6th class, taught by a Christian brother, and he got us doing harmonies and singing stuff and doing Latin tunes, and so I learned a lot of music from that guy.
Did you enjoy that at the time or retrospect?
I did enjoy it. Yeah, although it was a very rare oasis of joy in an otherwise Dickensian situation. But I remember I used to smoke at school, like when I was early teens.
Yeah,
and I gave up cigarettes. Yeah, and I stopped smoking. I remember because I remember when I was about 8 or 10, and I wrote down on a page how many years I had left, how many weeks I had left, how many days I had left
of school.
Wow. And I remember just sinking despair in my chest, realizing that I had 6 years. 6 years of this torture, and I always remembered that. And I remember walking out the gates for the last time, and I remember the months coming up to the point where I was going to walk out the gate for the last time. And then the week, and then the day, and then the actual moment of walking out the door for the last time. And as I was walking out the door, I said to a friend of mine, "Give us a cigarette." I didn't have any. I lit it just as I was walking out the door. And I leaned against the wall. I didn't go out the gate. I leaned against the wall and stared back at the school. Smoked that cigarette right down. Quenched it. And that was the last cigarette I ever had.
Really?
Yeah. And I walked out of that school. And I knew I was never going to smoke again. There's a lot of things I wasn't going to do again.
I enjoyed it only for the social part.
Okay.
I think that sport as well. I enjoyed playing sport.
Oh, it's crap.
Yeah. Enjoyed just the friends and talking to girls. It was always good.
Yeah, we didn't have girls at our school. Maybe that was part of the violence too. Frustrated kids.
All boys.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if it's just the environment that you're in, if you don't know any different, it is what it is. But being in the school that I was with girls, I can't imagine it being just all boys.
Yeah.
Especially some of the boys I went to school with.
Yeah.
It would have been violence. There already was violence.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the evolution from, say, when I left school in 1985 up to 2013 or whenever I started to walk my kid to school,
Yeah.
there's a huge evolution in teaching.
And she enjoys it?
She loves it. And I remember walking her up and I was terrified, thinking, am I, if
I have
that
to
guy that
make
smoked
this-
that cigarette,
I have to make it.
I have to put my child go through that now. But it's totally different. And within 3 days, she was walking through the playground, I was picking her up, and she'd be saying hello to seniors, and they'd be saying hello, Roisin, like saying her name, and she was just a tiny kindy.
Yeah.
And it's like, this was the best. I'm thinking, wow, this is
I would have
fantastic.
been petrified of
Seniors.
bullies. Yeah.
I know, but there's no bullies in these schools.
Wow.
Well, this school anyway. So,
Bullying is something that I never got bullied,
yeah.
but I noticed it. Yeah, and my sister's got 2 young twins, and I think about bullying for them,
Yeah.
and just how do you, as a parent, how do you? Because obviously you don't want your kid to bully,
Yeah,
and you definitely don't want your kid to be bullied.
yeah.
Must be scary.
I don't know about back in the day, but the teachers handle it now. So they're skilled in that sort of thing. It is a different world. And to be honest, these teachers nowadays, they've got the future of the world in their hands. Because they're putting out the adults of tomorrow.
So if it ever gets to when she's like, school, I hate it.
I hate it, yeah.
Now, how do you then say, when you hated it, how do you then say, no, you need to go,
Yeah.
when you yourself hated every...
Well, I didn't need to go. I should have been doing something else. Anything. Carpentry. I could have gone and done it.
Like left a bit earlier and just...
Yeah, because I'm a very hands-on person. I could have learned a skill or anything instead of just sitting there listening to the stuff I didn't understand. I was like, our classes were laid out too, so that it was in a snake fashion. So you had the head of the snake was these 2 kids that sat beside the teacher's desk, the top left-hand corner, and then it snaked down through the classroom to the worst people.
Oh,
So
really?
it was in order of who's crap to who's the best shiny boys in the class. I was always at the back, very back.
Yeah.
Rarely now would I move up a few seats. So, resentment? I've got some.
Do you think if you did carpentry or something like that, you wouldn't have gotten into music?
No, I would have done music as well. There was no music in our school, except for that Christian brother doing the choir thing, which was outside of school time. But there was no music subject.
So how did you first go from, because you were playing at home, obviously, guitar.
Yeah.
What was your first guitar?
My mum had a guitar,
Yep.
so I used to strum that.
She
And
used-
then I
she
got
used to
one
play.
from, we had a toy shop at home, and I remember we had a guitar for sale, and then somehow the headstock got broken. And I remember saying to my dad, can I have that guitar?
Gimme.
Can I have it? And he said, yeah, go ahead. So I remember taking that, and it was such a precious thing to me, this guitar that I had, even though it wasn't in tune, and the headstock was, almost off. And I used to keep it at the end of the bed, and I used to sleep in the same huge bed with my brother. And I remember my brother bouncing on the bed one day, and he fell off the end of the bed and landed on the guitar and smashed it to shit. And I don't think I've ever been as angry since or before then.
Upset or just
Just
pure anger?
so angry. Just wanted to kill him.
Older brother?
No, younger.
Younger?
Yeah. Yeah. It's still
Giving
good.
the treatment?
yeah. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. I do that to Roisin there. She doesn't have any siblings. It's just my job to do. Stop hitting yourself. I feel it's you've got to hand on something. I was giving her life advice the other day. I said, okay, well, there's 2 things I want you to remember. One is, no matter what, never smile at a crocodile. You know
Good
what I mean?
advice.
Yeah. The second one then is never buy a new car.
Never buy a new car.
Yeah.
Also good advice.
So she has those 2 nuggets.
Have you got your car yet?
No, I'm still looking for
Volvo?
Volvo's 240s, yeah. Volvo 240. There's one out there for me. I don't know if I'm going to end up getting it, but I'm certainly looking. There's one in town here, but he's looking for like 5,000.
What's the fascination with Volvos specific? Because you had one before, yeah.
I had, yeah. I just like the look of them and the feel of them. I don't know why.
Driving feel.
Yeah. I just think they're a legend of a car. And there's people that would hate them, because they don't go fast and they don't look cool. You know what I mean? They're boxy and horrible. But I don't know why that's the charm. Love it. There's a guy up near here selling a baby blue one.
Yeah.
I don't like the colour particularly, but if I could bring him down a few grand, I'd buy it off him. And there was one guy I was talking to, he's got a Volvo 244 and he's down in Melbourne.
Yep.
And I rang him, but he said there's some rust underneath the windshield, so that's a terrible place to have a bit of rust. I don't think I could be dealing with that.
Yeah. I used to have a Holden Shuttle,
Oh yeah, what's that?
9-seat van.
Ah,
It was my mum's
was it like a wagon or a van?
van.
Yeah.
Like a column shift.
Oh yeah,
Three in the front, three in the middle, three in the back.
cool.
Brilliant.
Sounds great. I've never
Yeah.
seen one.
Yeah, I used to drive. So I had it when I was 17, 18.
Yeah,
Used to drive to parties.
yeah. Bring everybody.
$5.
Oh no way!
Drive everyone home.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to the parties anyway with
Yeah,
some of my mates. Drive 2 or 3 of my mates home.
Yeah.
If you want to lift, yeah, it's cool.
$5.
$5, let's have it.
That's great. Even then, you were an entrepreneur.
Didn't drink till I was 18.
Just too busy running the bus company.
Yeah. Like a lot of kids, especially at parties and that, when I was growing up, they were drinking when they were 15,
Yeah,
16. Who knows what they're doing now?
you're still drinking.
Oh, definitely still drinking. Lots of drugs.
Mm.
Lots of drugs.
Drugs are worry, I think. There was no drugs in our town when I was growing up. Guitar was my drug. There's no grass.
How much would you play with?
Oh, it's just
When you were young?
sit on the bed and always play the guitar. That's what I did to escape. That was the portal to the other world,
Yeah.
to the place where these people on TV were.
That's a common thing. And that's why people get so much out of it, because people put so much into it in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah.
With the energy transference from...
Yeah. There's transference, yeah. Then you use it as a vehicle to express yourself. I often wonder about that because there's no other animal that can pick up an instrument and express itself through an instrument, whereas we tend to sing and hit things.
And I find myself trying to stop myself when I get, like, I'll hear some song like, oh, that's rubbish. I think, God, someone's put so much time and energy and effort, like, to a point.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge who this person is? Who's poured, their life of music into it.
Yeah, but you're not judging the person, are you? You're just judging the product.
It's part of it, isn't it?
You know what I often think of? The fact that I play here, and just 100 yards down that street is where the convicts were kept when they arrived.
Yeah.
So there would have been Irish convicts brought to that point, and I'd love to meet them now, have them come in here and sing them a few songs and play a few tunes. Because I still see the Irish tunes, the Irish old tunes, they've been around for thousands and thousands of years. And they would have heard the same tunes that I play on the banjo.
Same
Yeah.
music.
If their ghosts could come here and just play them a few tunes, and they would recognise the same tunes. Any of the musicians would. I find that fascinating.
Because so there's tunes that that are
Thousands of years old.
thousands of years
Yeah.
old. Ooh. See, our country isn't even. It's not even.
Well, it is.
I mean, but not as we know it.
Yeah. Yeah. But the Aboriginal have the
before
song
we-
lines where you get assigned a song line to remember a journey, and then you've got to be able to walk through the country and remember the song. It's a similar thing. And it's deep culture.
So the banjos, it originated in Ireland.
No, the banjo is relatively new to Irish music, to be honest. The banjo started out, I'm nearly sure with a 5-string banjo was the first banjo. And then some of the jazz players started to take off the 5th string and play it as a 4-string. But it came from Africa, the African instruments that the African Americans were playing. And then they just kind of made a better version of it, if you like. It became a banjo.
From America, and they took it back to Ireland.
Yeah, well, it's only in the 20s it started kicking in Ireland, 1920s. So that's not that long ago. Like, the traditional Irish instruments is the flute, really. That's the main one. That's the ancient one.
Did you ever try to learn the flute?
I can play the tin whistle a bit. I haven't tried to learn the flute, no. And the harp, that's traditional Irish as well.
Harp are the big ones. But
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a very practical instrument.
Not really. I suppose a bit more practical than a piano, though, when you think of it.
Yeah, true. Have you ever learned piano?
No. Don't like
My mum
piano.
used to be able to play,
Is that right?
and her older brother, he could play. He could also play guitar.
Yeah. Left and right hand. Is that right?
Why you would learn both ways? I think he must have known one way and then not had a guitar, and someone had a guitar within his household.
Yeah.
He taught himself the other one as well. But why I don't know why it would be a skill where you, like why you would continue to.
Well, Jimi Hendrix. No, he didn't. It's said that he could play both sides, but I don't think he did. I think he just played.
I think he didn't. He had a right hand guitar.
Yeah,
he just
switched
turned,
over.
He just turned it the other way, didn't
Yeah,
he? And then
that's right. Makes more sense.
he's very strong.
Yeah.
What's your take on Jimi Hendrix?
Jimi Hendrix is a fascinating artist.
He's got like a mythological sort of following,
He does, yeah.
cult like almost.
Similar to Prince in many ways, because both of their fathers were musicians as well. When Jimmy grew up, his father played the saxophone, so he heard that played all the time. And he was a very shy person, but the trick is with everything is that he just played all day, every day, and he just worked
And things are never as hard for the 1,000th time than they were the first time when you're trying to.
Really, yeah, some quality recordings of his stuff.
So a lot of his lead guitar style stuff is some of the most prominent. But even his acoustic stuff was like the blues acoustic stuff he did was incredible.
Absolutely, yeah, Joel Gordas, screaming.
Wasn't the best singer.
His no, but adequate,
Yeah.
enough. I mean, his bass player was from Cork in Ireland.
Oh,
Yeah, and I've seen that guy play in his band. I don't know where they met, but there's a town in Cork where they have like great tributes to Jimi Hendrix, and that because of this guy
because
being
of
from
this
there.
guy, yeah. How far is Cork from where you grew up?
Be 4-hour drive, I'd say. Everywhere's close in Ireland, though.
How far would it be to drive top to bottom?
Top to bottom, I think about 5.5 hours, tip to tip.
Is it?
The thing is, we don't. Huh?
And then east west? What would that be?
East west, you could do it in 4.5.
That's just almost circle.
If you went from, if you made it easy for yourself, you could probably do it in 3.5 hours. Say if you went at night when there's nobody on the roads, because the roads down through the country at night are just desolate. There's nobody on them. It's the most bizarre thing. You can go out on the motorway here any time of day or night. You're going to meet traffic.
Yeah, true.
But going across Ireland, middle of the night, it's like nothing, nobody. It's like Mad Max.
Eerie.
So this is our day off.
Yes.
Barman and the
Cheers.
musician.
Mondays.
Supposed to be having a day off, and here we are working, slaving away doing a podcast.
Slaving.
Jesus, hard work, isn't it?
Pouring out
Yeah.
creativity.